1914, aka Mr. X Rated. And I'm here with my brothers, man.
What's going down? This is Sean, aka 1990s baby, aka New Year, New Me. aka
what it do? What's up? I'm glad to be back today. This is Mo, aka Mozilla is back, aka Big Mo. What's happening, folks? Let's go ahead and get into it, X.
What's going on, man? How was y'all week? How was the New Year's? How y'all feeling this New Year's? We missed you, Mo, the last time, man. We glad to have you back with us today. How y'all feeling, man?
Feeling pretty good, man. Feeling pretty good. Back at it. Hump Day Wednesday, like I said. Glad to be back on with the boys. This time. About just this COVID stuff need to just go on. And everything else need to go with it. I see they bringing BS in to 2021 already, though.
Hey, man, the new year is crazy already.
Hey, man, 2021. Mo Dollars, open your eyes. Look like the top.
For man, sure.
Man, I can't complain, man. It's, life is about challenges and overcoming and staying strong, man. I'm glad to be able to for this is medicine for me, man. Therapy. This is therapy for me, man, to be with my brothers and also be with our people out there as well, man. So this is awesome. Can't complain, dog.
For sure, man. I got a question for you. Sean, did you take down that tree? I know y'all was talking about around 3 Kings Day, and that y'all said it was the 6th. So what's up? Did you take that tree down or you got it up still?
Man, dog, that tree is still up, man. We ain't gonna see that tree down to July.
That tree ain't gonna stay up till about March.
Right.
Exactly.
Hey, that tree gonna stay up for Mo's birthday, your birthday, X, Keys. Hey, Steph just told me Keys Day is today. So you have to take it down now.
Exactly. I guess we know what you're doing after the podcast.
Right.
Downstairs and taking that tree down. Hey, man, but we got a lot of stuff going on, man. A lot of current events happening. First thing I wanted to talk about is, y'all know, rapper Mace, or brother Mace. He just was named the pastor of Atlanta's Gathering Oasis Church, man. So it's a big church in Atlanta. He just got that. So I want to say big ups to him, man, and definitely put that out there.
I don't know why I thought he went back to rapping, though.
He did at one point in time.
A little minute.
Exactly. So what happened is he said the congregation was telling him they wanted him to go back. So he went back for a little bit. It was a new game by the time he left, and came back.
The congregation wanted him to go back rapping.
Yeah, to see.
He probably
good. No, X, I heard what happened was he abandoned the congregation and went back to rapping. He just left them hanging. He took the tithes and the offerings and banged out.
Man,
what did he do? Make a video with the tithes and offering? He ran off with one of the plates.
He ran off on the deacon. Still ran off on the plug. He ran off.
It's your 10%.
but now he's about to be the head pastor of the church.
Yeah, he's about to go back to another church called Gathering Oasis Church. I guess it's a bigger church in Atlanta, man. So he's going to do that. So yeah,
it's like a business move to me.
Oh, for sure. I mean, because rapping when he came back, like I said, it wasn't working out. It was a whole different, game.
It was a flop when he came back. He was too old coming back regardless. Like, man, come on, man.
Right.
See, I mean, I would say that, but I don't know, man, because in the time, I mean, look at like some of the people that have longevity that's old in this game. You talk about Snoop Dogg, he's still here. You talk about the E40, all up.
I'll take that back. He didn't evolve. See those rappers, Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, Too Short. These rappers, they evolve. Jay-Z, they evolve. He didn't evolve.
He kind of was put in that back seat early.
Exactly.
A couple hits, and it was a wrap. Once the shiny suits went out of style, it was over for
it. Right. It wasn't no welcome back. It was a go back home, go back home, go back home.
Yeah.
I forgot about he did make that song.
Yeah, that was the welcome back. And and you can't rap about the same thing. It's just, I don't know. I think his image kind of, he was. And that's the thing, like you said, he took that leave too early. And then, coming back, he wasn't able to evolve with the game.
No.
And the same stuff, he wasn't going to be able to talk about the same stuff. Now you passed the mace. We can't hear you. You can't be talking about that same stuff.
Right.
And he kind of got to turn into Kirk Franklin at that point.
Exactly. Exactly, man.
Or twist it up and be like that Erica Campbell.
That's a fact.
Oh, yeah.
He could at least did a route that Kanye did. Kanye did a smooth route with the gospel and his skills and everything.
Yeah.
See, but he kind of introduced us. That's how he was introduced, and then it was like, all right, I'm on my other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy, man. But yeah, so shout out to him getting the church back. Yeah, good luck to him.
Right.
And definitely, man. And speaking of Georgia, we got to talk about the history, some history being made in Georgia, man. The first thing we know, the Senate runoff was yesterday, and they didn't come to a final decision yesterday. All the votes weren't counted, but I know this morning when I got up, I think around 4 a.m. they said that Raphael Warnock was the first Black senator in Georgia history to be voted in the Senate, man. And he's the first Democrat in 20 years. So definitely shout out to him. That was some Black excellence right there. And just seeing him, that's crazy, man. First Black senator ever from Georgia.
Yeah, you know what I want people just to like. I hope people ain't like out here trying to vote, or they not like. I'm not saying they just giving like these positions to like Black people now, but like I want people to be like, oh well, it's because of the times that we're in, a lot of these people are holding seats or getting seats, and you know what I'm saying? They're not, but they're not looking like at the work they really actually have done, things they've done completed in the community. You know what I'm saying? Some of what they really about, not just because, oh, this is the time and that's why he got it. Like, nah, like a lot of people need to sit back and, commence these people that's really getting in these seats, and not only just because they're Black, but because they've done their due diligence and they've worked hard to get to be where they at.
Right. Piggyback off what you're saying before I go into that, shout out to everybody that's making the comments on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram as well. What I got in my cup as well, Parlay Cigars, I have Parlay Kool-Aid. One of the comments said that. But shout out to Jeremy. And piggyback on what you was saying, Mo, I agree. People don't realize when it comes to the Senate or being like a congressman or male or female, it's a grind to even build up followers, build up we call your campaign from scratch and building up. It's a lot you have to do. It's a lot of time putting in, a lot of people investing in you, believing in you. It's not just some people may be popular. Yeah, I get that of like popular people, but a lot, for the most part, you start from ground zero, being in that community and building up your rankings, building up your followers, and building up people that supporting you, man. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of grinding. It's a lot of meetings. That's a lot of events you going to. It's not easy just overnight just do that, man. No, it's a lot of time. If you look on a lot of these senators' history, they've been in the game for minimum 5 to 10 plus years.
Yeah.
Whether it's them starting off volunteering, then moving up and start getting paid on. A lot of these people that's in these positions don't get paid a lot of money.
Right.
Starting off. So people have to understand that it's a lot of work to get put into the positions, and it's a lot of pressure. It's
Exactly.
easy to talk about somebody, but imagine putting yourself in that shoes, and every day you have the spotlight on you, asking you questions, how you feel, and also anything you saying, they have to be lined up with your party. That's a lot of stuff goes into it, man.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's the thing of it, man. And luckily for him, he was a pastor at Ebenezer Baptist in Georgia. So, he's used to that, putting in that time and, doing for his community. And that's one of the things I will say about it, man. Yeah, it's definitely not nobody being put in a spot because they're black at this point. I don't think so. I think it's the work they put. I mean, if you think about all the work that was being put in, like, and you can't even think about this Senate race without, mentioning Stacey Abrams, who thought that, who was like, look, I felt this type of way when I was running, and, something was taken away from me. And she did some real work in Georgia. I mean, got so many people registered to vote, and
Right.
so many people to get into all of these elections and make sure that those people turned out and stuff like that. So they said this was like the most expensive Senate race like ever, because they had to put so much in it to get us to this point where now we have these two Democrats in the office. And I personally want to give a shout out like to my aunt Francine. She's in Georgia, and she was just elected the commissioner of uh, Augusta, Georgia. So, and she worked with Stacey Abrams on, getting people registered to vote. And I know there was people in my family that wasn't, registered to vote and hadn't registered for years. And it's like, look, you know, my grandfather, for example, wasn't registered to vote. He got registered to vote this year, and he went out this year. And she made sure he went out this year and voted in both elections, the Senate runoff and the presidential election, man. So this is where we definitely say you got to get out there and you got to vote. And I think the work that they did in Georgia is showing that you have to put in more work and you have to really be with the people.
Right.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And
Big
I think
shout
that's what
outs to
showed.
your cousin. Huge shout outs for that accomplishment. One of our followers said, "Are we running? Are we looking? Our Parlay and Cigars podcast? Are we looking to run for a political office? No, we are not looking to run for a political office. We just letting people know the back end of details of what's going on behind the scenes. And we don't know what all go on behind the scenes, but we have a lot of we have some friends and loved ones that's in that field that allow us
Yeah.
to know what's taking place. So we just want to let people know it's
And I'm
not
gonna
easy.
comment on that. Hold on, I'm gonna comment on that because
Go ahead.
that's actually my uncle EJ, and he does some political. He works with like all the political faces in Cincinnati. So he's definitely getting people out there voting,
So
urging them to vote. So
we trying to recruit right now. That's what's
Oh, you
oh,
trying
for
to
sure,
recruit.
for sure. Look, hey, you need
Uncle
to work.
Uncle over there playing his hand right now. He got Ace of
Right.
Spades, don't he? He got Ace of
Exactly.
Spades
We
over there.
Yeah, man. But nah, that I think that was definitely dope, and it was good to see, man. And now it brings about what we've been talking about like this whole time. I know we were talking about some of the laws that sit at the or that is brought to the Senate, and essentially what happens is when you have the majority rules, the Senate chooses what they want to bring to the floor or what's not brought to the floor. But now you have a party that has control of the House and the Senate. So those things that align with them is definitely going to be brought to the floor. And this is where my thing is: if you're a Democrat, and I don't care what party you are, but if you're a Democrat, this is where you put your feet on the necks of those politicians and say, hey, look, this is what we're looking for. This is what we want, you know, and get that stuff brought forth. And if it was a reverse, that's when you do that. You get what I'm saying? because to
Right.
have it in line like this is nuts, man. And to see the state flip, that's the
Yeah.
biggest thing. To see Georgia flip the way it did,
Yeah.
where he lost the vote there, as well as now you got the Senate. It flipped crazy.
That's true.
Yeah. You know what? I think when it comes down to electing, and going whether Democrat, Republican, whatever party you believe in, it pretty much comes up to whatever your beliefs are and what you want to see done, and the type of work. I guess that I I guess I want to say it's kind of selfish, but it's to benefit you or you not only you but your family or the future, your kids in the future, and things like that. There's some policies you might believe in that other people that don't feel that it's important versus others, and there's some that can really damage and hurt somebody, and pretty much per se it won't go in their favor if it was if different policies were passed. Some people just like the what was that, the stand your ground that got passed in here in Ohio with
Yeah,
so I can recall just being at work and hearing some people just feeling some type of way or whatnot, kind of basically fearing of that, policy being passed or that law being passed because
hmm
they fear that stand your ground. Now you seen things, you guys probably saw different type of statuses going out and stuff like that about now bodies are really going to start dropping. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? So people just feel like, I guess, you can just walk up to. I know one person made the comment, it was like, somebody just walked up to me. If I said something to them and then turned around and they just shot me, then it's not justified. You know what I'm saying? But
hmm
I think everybody just got to educate themselves about some of these policies because for real, honestly, when I looked into some things, like I'm not gonna go all into it, but it goes hand in hand. But a lot of it seemed to benefit that person or whoever followed that type of party. It
hmm
benefit their lifestyle and it benefit the outcome of what they were wanting to do or pursue. So
exactly. And that's the thing, yeah, and I'm glad you commented on that. And that's something to talk about too, because that's one of the current events that was crazy to me. Um, because the first introduction we had to stand your ground pretty much laws was when you had the whole Trayvon Martin situation in Florida.
yeah, yeah,
And it was a situation where it was like it was just crazy. And now I can see why people are hesitant about it. You get what I'm saying?
yeah,
Um, I don't know if I mean, I don't know how I necessarily feel about it. I definitely think it's crazy that situation that you can get off like that. And I don't know how that aligned with standing your ground. You get what I'm saying? However, you know, I feel like you should have the right to protect yourself. You get what I'm saying? And that law is tricky to me, and I think I have to read into it more to
hmm
see. But it's crazy to me because I'm like, even like I said, our first introduction was that, and it just didn't seem like it fit well. You get what I'm saying? It didn't
hmm
seem like it was something that was right. So it's one of those things. You're like, well, maybe that's how we all perceive it is like somebody can follow you, do this, and still shoot you and kill you, and nothing happens. So I don't know much about it. I'll have to really look at it and research it. But I get that, man. Is what we're getting and how we're getting it. And it's all about doing that research and finding what best works for you. Which
right.
what works for me ain't gonna work for everybody. What works for me ain't
Uh,
gonna work for you, ain't gonna work for Sean. So,
hmm
you know, that's one of the problems you have. And that's why I said, even though, some people may be happy of what's going on, and hey, this is, a time, there is people that's not happy. You know what I'm saying? And people that's going through it. So um definitely that was crazy. And then also, so Georgia won both of
I
their
want to
senator races. Go ahead.
I want to jump in on that. X on the stand your ground law. I just me personally, that law it is more details we have to educate ourselves on because when they pass different laws like that, it's more than just what we see in the Trayvon Martin case. there's more details in these laws. So we have to really educate ourselves on it. And at the same time, me personally, these laws is not meant for us. These laws is for, the other side, man. Just keeping the G. Because anytime when something like those incidents happen, it's very rare for us, we get all scot-free. Unless we have a top lawyer to protect us. No matter if you have to stay your law ground in or not. That's just the way it is for our people, man. Minorities, man. I'm just keeping the G with you. Just keeping the buck.
For sure, man. And that's, like you said, just educating yourself and really getting into it. But this is where like I said, this is where you have to put that pressure now on, hey, look, this is what we're looking for. This is what we're doing. Like the vote just don't stop here. Yeah, that was great. It was great that we was able to do this, and it was great. But like I said, those other elections, local elections, you gotta start from the ground up. You get what I'm saying? Not just the presidential election. You need to do those local elections too, and really work on those people. But like I was saying, man, Georgia both won both of the Democratic seats. So John Ossoff ran against David Perdue, and he won. But I will tell you, I mean, I think it was within that 0.5 margin, so they're automatically going to have to do a recount because, I mean,
of course,
exactly. It's so close.
2021.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the most recounting they ever done. They ain't got nothing else to do. These folks, they working. Hey, people working from home, they glad to have some work to recount. Yeah, let's go. I'm ready. I'm getting ready to get out the house.
Exactly. It's crazy, man. But
yes, better safe than sorry. I guess they really want to know if they double check it.
Well, and I think that's a rule that they put in place just to make sure, like, hey, look, we even if it's below 0.5, which I think his margin was like 0.42 or something like that. So they're like, if it's below 0.5, we're automatically doing a recount just so everybody can say, all right, look, we feel confident. We didn't count it twice. It is what it is. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, makes sense.
And that's our democracy at work. That's how it's supposed to work, right? When we talk about democracy and everybody, getting a fair shake, that's how it's supposed to go. But, with that, since the Senate is tied, then that means if it ever comes to a 50-50 split between the Senate when it comes to voting on something, then Vice President Kamala Harris is the deciding factor. So that's how it works. And, we'll see what happens with all this, man. There was a couple things we were talking about being held up, like them legalizing marijuana and heroin and all that stuff. So we'll see now that that's, something that the House presented, if now the Senate will actually say that's something we're going to put on the floor, or if they're going to put something else.
Right.
So, it's definitely something to look out for. But
absolutely,
man, we wouldn't be brothers talking about some real stuff and we wouldn't talking about what's going on right now. So I got so much to say about it. I'm gonna start off
before you jump in, X.
What's going on?
Shout out to Mama Dukes. She commented, which is a good congratulations. Joe Biden and Democrats now is over the president office, the House, and the Senate. So that's huge. That's huge.
Yep.
Democrats. That's the first time that happened over a decade plus.
Yeah, man, and that's why I'm saying, and it's always been, and hopefully we see something different with it, man. It's always been a rift where it's been, this party fighting this party and nothing really happening because it's just so much red tape you got to go through to get something passed and something done. But now when you got somebody working together, let's see how it all flows through. And maybe it's something that, maybe it's something that worked, maybe it's something that don't. But like I said, it all depends on us putting that pressure too. Right. And like I said, stuff need to be changed. And we know laws need to be changed. And you got to put in that work. You got to require laws to be changed. You got to, tell them that laws need to be changed. You need to put that same amount of pressure that we did with vote and going out and doing all that stuff on them when calling into those offices, calling into your local, statesmen and everything, and saying, hey, look, this is what needs to happen. This is what we want to see. We need, and getting into those town halls and things like that. So definitely, man. But so getting into all of that, there's still a lot of business going on around all of this. President Trump is still the president at this time, and they're still, fighting. They have a case where they're fighting the votes, the electoral votes. So
didn't he have didn't he go live today during
exactly? So that's what he definitely did.
He had a nice speech, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Had a nice little speech that led to what do you call it? Let me think how they presented it. Oh, it was a peaceful protest, right? Peaceful protest on Capitol Hill.
Climbing walls is peaceful, huh?
Right. Hey, listen, climbing walls, breaking windows to a federal building is peaceful.
And this is the Capitol. This is not no
Capitol
state
building.
Office. This is our nation's capital, man.
Government building, all right? Now, mind you, at first, it was peaceful, which I was saying that about all of our protests that we go to, Black Lives Matter protests, and it was peaceful. You have a few people, few bad apples, as we would call it, that does this. But the response ain't the same. Why is that, man? You had Black Lives Matter protests on the Capitol building. They made sure it was guarded and protected. President Trump did a speech. People marched 1.5 miles to get to the Capitol building. And you had people was able to get in the building and stop something going on. I'm talking about the House and the Senate was working on the electoral votes. Now, my thing is, you talk about they're trying to vote. They got to do their. I think they get 2 hours to discuss, and then they give themselves about an hour for voting. This in the middle of this, you got people, protesters, breaking into a window, and you know what? That's the name of today's podcast. Riot versus protest. What's the difference? Because my thing is, Black Lives Matter. Oh, there was some bad apples breaking windows, breaking stuff. These rioters, these thugs.
Exactly. Thugs.
Riots, thugs, everything.
Hey, then your boy, they had your man. He was sitting in the chair with his feet up on Pelosi's desk.
On Pelosi's desk, just chilling.
If I took a picture like that, I'd be executed in a week.
Right, he just chilling like what's up.
And then I heard it was reports of a woman being shot and killed inside.
A woman did get shot and killed, and we don't know if that's from a protester or from the cops. But here's my thing: let's talk about this. Let's talk about this, and this is something close to me because I know some of the laws, and this is talking about laws. We talk about democracy and how America is we're a democracy. We have to let it play out. How many times have we let all this stuff that plays out with cops shooting unarmed black men? We got to let it play out. We got to let it play out when somebody's holding a Subway sandwich and walking in their door, get shot in the back. We got to let it play out. Let's see what happens. We got somebody that kneels on somebody's neck for 8.5 minutes, however long it was, and let it play out. Let's just see what it does, because that's our nation at work, right? Mm-hmm. So with all that being said, guess what? They had a certified electoral vote. So they're trying to say, hey, we want to look at this and see if we're going to certify these, or we're just going to say, let's push it further for further recounts or whatever. So This is what we're voting on. This is your democracy at work. Yet we're going to storm the building to make a statement. Now, I'm for it. Look, we can protest, you can protest. But my thing is, call it what it is. Once the glass start breaking, once somebody got shot, once you start deploying gas, all that stuff, wouldn't this now a riot?
Yeah.
There's destruction to a Capitol building. This is a riot now.
Taking paperwork, tables, chairs outside the building. This is secure information that you're taking. And it started from our so-called president of what he was saying in his speech, encouraging the ongoing things to happen. So for you not as a leader, no matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat, you're the leader. You have the power to push positivity and unity, and you have the power to push negativity and divide of the other side of unity for people, man. Unify to go against the on what's right. So it's just crazy that with the time that we're in, and also it shows a wrinkle in time for us. We never seen it. We see this in other countries. People running up in their capital offices, but you never in history, you never seen that in a long time. I'm talking way back to the 1800s.
Excuse me. Now I think was it 1950? I think to be exact. Last time we seen this, and the last time they stormed the Capitol when there was a war.
Exactly.
That makes sense. That
was the last time something like this happened. And here's my thing, and this is why I say this is your democracy at work. Let it play out. If that's the case, if you're mad about the election, let it play out. Let them see if they're going to certify it or not. You get what I'm saying? Let democracy work like it's supposed to work. We're supposed to wait on that. We're supposed to say, hey, this is what's going on. We're supposed to do, be democratic in the process and just wait.
Just
wait it out.
The bad thing is when I start calling, X had called me earlier, and when I got off work, he like, man, you see all this stuff going on? They storming the Capitol, and these fools went up in there and they breaking stuff down, and they doing this or that, and I was like, I ain't got a chance to look into it. And then I see, my wife, she texted me and everything, and she like, look at this is crazy. And you know what? The whole time that I was just thinking, it was like, it wasn't something like, I didn't say unbelievable, because it's very believable. Where things is
exactly
the way stuff has been going on. I mean, I'm expecting to see this, just turmoil and just unfairness, and just people just kind of going, like I always said, COVID crazy. It's expected. It's sad, but it's expected for what we're going through, and the things, the type of things people are doing. Is, man, I can't say I was not. I wasn't. I was like, yeah. I wasn't surprised by the news. Put it that way.
Exactly.
And I was like,
and that's the thing, man.
Something was going to go on. So
this was already pre-planned out, man. This was they knew that this riot, not the riot, but they knew the protest and this big old thing was coming. The we call all the military, the whole government. They knew that this was planned out of what's supposed to take place. I know they probably wasn't expecting the riot to take off, but they knew this big old event was supposed to happen. So if you know this is supposed to happen, just like you be knowing, or if you don't know, you quick to bring, we call military for a Black Lives moment protesting event. You got to keep that same energy. This is this low-key 10 times worse than what we ever did. We never even touched the Capitol. Like, they literally in the Capitol. Like,
and that's my thing.
Like, movie.
It's just a movie? Like, this is literally.
Exactly. We're storming the Capitol and we're taking over here. You get what I'm saying? And I mean, you got senators in there. You got the House of Representatives. You got all these important people, all these important documents, all this stuff. And this is a federal, like, are you serious? And you go in this building, but we're rioters, you're protesters.
That's why I couldn't be no Secret Service.
For sure.
I'd have needed a couple magazines.
For sure. For sure.
I'll let go on accident and start popping like
And here's my thing. And here's my thing. And this is what I was talking about, like the laws as well. So, like I said, I know I got a couple family members that, just like with anything, or if you're committing, and I don't know I wonder if this is a felony act. I gotta wonder because I can see because of the severity of where they are and where they broke into. You get what I'm saying? I would think that's a felony act. And when you're committing a felony act, and I don't know, I got to check it out in Washington because maybe it's different. But when you're committing a felony act and somebody gets like shot or killed, then you're charged with that.
Charged with that, supposedly.
Right. Supposedly. So how does that work? You get what I'm saying? How does that work?
Building too. At that.
Do that mean the people that was in there that decided to storm the building are going to be charged with that? Well, I won't say murder because we don't know if the lady died yet or not. But I'm just saying, if that was the case, would they get charged? Do they get charged with that?
I doubt it. I'm not. I don't even think they're gonna push it because you also supposed to get charged with criminal damaging, vandalism.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's all that was under there. I guarantee you, they just suited and booted up, put them shields on, and start pushing out. I ain't see nobody get zip tied up.
Man,
exactly.
I'm telling you exactly what they doing right now. They up in there like this, man.
Hey, man.
They out there playing hard like
crazy,
I'm just saying. And here's my thing. I love the tweet of I like seeing President-elect Biden get on and say, hey, look, you got to step it up. You got to tell them, it's done for. And I like to see that.
Pack it up and go home.
Pack it up and go home.
All he had to say.
But I love the difference.
And go home.
But I love the difference. You see the difference of I understand that you're upset. The election was stolen from us, and we love you, we support you. Just leave peacefully.
Right.
But where was that energy for us?
Right.
Hey,
listen to those words.
That's showing empathy, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't think there was any empathy. Well, hey, look, somebody died. The police deal with it. It's gonna be an investigation. But if y'all down there, we gonna punish you to the fullest extent of the law. If you down there being thugs and rioting, I didn't hear none of that when they were messing up and intervening in effect. And mind you, so they have to say if they're going to certify these votes by the 11th. Now, y'all heard what I said. There's 2 hours of discussion before they even vote on, okay, are we certifying this or not? And this is for all the states that they have to go through this with.
Right.
And this has to be done.
Just a heads up, X. Someone said that she did report that lady did pass away, unfortunately.
Wow.
Yeah,
Craziness. Craziness, man.
It's ridiculous, man. We are living in a different time, man. A different time in a different world. And you gotta think that 75 plus million that voted for Joe Biden. It was 74 million that voted for Donald Trump. So
exactly,
it's like we are literally in a split, bro. Your neighbor is probably the same one that voted for Donald Trump. You don't know.
Mm-hmm. So, and that's my thing, man. Everybody got their right to protest and do their thing, but my thing is keep that same energy both ways. I want to hear them being called thugs. I want to hear them out there rioting. I want to hear that same energy. Don't tell me, when it comes to Black Lives Matter, you're rioters, you tore up things, but then say, well, they were peaceful protesting. They went in there to prove a point and to no. Because my thing is, once things start getting damaged, once you broke windows to a federal building,
that's a riot.
You started rioting.
Definition of a riot.
So it's crazy, man. Crazy time, but definitely, I was like, we had to talk about it because I know I was sitting there just like in amazement, man.
And still, as we're speaking, it's still going on.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they still
going on a lot.
Yeah, and I know they had a 6 p.m. curfew. I wonder, wonder how that go because I know when they had the curfew here in Columbus.
Man, it's going like this. They going they go into their cars and getting their what is those camping tents, and they about to camp out there.
They are. They're not like us. We didn't camp out. We got body up inside our heads and got sent back home.
Rubber bullets. I don't see none of those coming out.
No. Hey, no. It depends on what channel you watching, man. When I was watching CNN, they didn't show all that. But when I watched CBS, Channel 10, they was showing everything, bro. They was
Well, that's another thing. The National Guards didn't come until the governor of DC decided to call them. Mm-hmm. And he made the request, and Trump had to, grant it, and it came a little later, but they were already in the building at that point.
Oh yeah,
right.
So damage was already done. A statement already been made.
Exactly. They should have got that far. They should have already had people there from the get-go. Simple as that.
And that's what I'm so surprised with.
They had the courage to go up in there and do that.
You feel me? You feel me? And that's where I was like, man. Listen.
In my head, I'm like, man, if I go up here and climb this wall, I'm gonna get life in prison.
Right.
Exactly.
And y'all gotta think. I know you guys been to DC. I know the many times I've been to DC, seen the Capitol. We never been able to get that close. You see the dudes with the guns ready, full fledged.
Exactly. And that's the thing. They said, well, if you was here a week ago, it would have been hard to get in there. They do all this stuff, and you can't just get into the building like that. So what changed from a week ago?
Right.
And one of our commenters said that they was waiting for the approval for the Pentagon. Because I think someone reported that the Pentagon at first denied the troops going there, and then they approved it later, a couple hours later. But that's crazy if they did deny it from the beginning. That's nuts.
Sound like a little conspiracy, a little setup to me.
And I heard that same thing, and I heard what they were trying to do was say, hey, we didn't want Army personnel, military personnel on the Capitol. So what we're trying to do, because they said Maryland police came in, some other police departments came in, but I remember going to the Black Lives Matter protests here in Columbus, and I was there during the day, probably noon, and they didn't care about
a little state building.
They didn't care about the state building. They had military personnel there. They
had jets flying and helicopters soaring.
And that's the thing about DC. You have undercover special agents all the time around DC, bro. Like I remember one time, me and Steph, we was down there because she's from DC. We down there at the Capitol, just walk past the Capitol. We see a whole full-fledged military in a SUV, and we call it, I think it was a Tahoe, full-fledged big guns and everything. They over there all the time. So for them not to be around, that's just crazy. Like you would think, like, was this really a setup? Like for them to get that far, like.
But I'm gonna tell you one of the things that really makes me wonder: does this change the minds of when they go back to tonight? Because they're gonna have to meet tonight to get these states knocked out of the way, see about certifying them. They're gonna have to meet. They got to go back tonight and start the process. What is this? Does this change your mind and say, man, look at what happened off a simple tweet and video or address? Because it was an hour address. He did an hour-long speech of how he was pissed at everything and how his vice president. I mean, you chose him as a vice president. You going in on him?
Tore him down. He was hurt.
Tore him down.
His feelings, he was hurt. He was just.
Oh
hurt. He ain't ready to leave the house.
Not at all.
This is my thing. They gave this guy too much power to abuse, man. They gave him too much power to abuse, and he abused it. For y'all to give him the authorization to come out and speak, you knew something was going down. Like it's just simple as that, man. And first of all, they should have been took his power away from Twitter. Like,
Man,
he should have been got banned for Twitter. Like, dude, every second you come right back trying to clean up what you just said 2 minutes ago. Like, man.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did take it away from Twitter. He was like, "Look, I'm the president. I need that. I need my rights back right now. Put me back on Twitter. I got something. Look, he probably was calling the people, the head of Twitter, as soon as he woke up in the morning. They won't let me tweet. What? Hold on.
Right.
Pence, go make that call for me. I need to talk to the heads of Twitter. I got an important message I need to get out to the American people."
Exactly. Like, and it's so easy for him to go back home. A lot of these people is regular people, man. That's just this was like their some reporters said it like this. This is like their big event, big trip that they like to go into Disney World type of event.
Right.
People building up to this event. Like, it's just crazy if you've seen it on social media. A lot of people knew about going to this event. So it was already pre-planned out.
Yeah.
So
I was watching something that said a bus left from Cleveland yesterday night to get to Washington.
That's crazy.
It's something that, just like with any other, things, any protests and stuff, something when the speeches come, something's gonna happen, something's gonna shake, something's gonna move. So, but like I said, man, keep that same energy when it comes to everything, because this is definitely is an eye opener, and I'm gonna be tuning in and watching and seeing how it goes, and hopefully we don't have any more delays and any more issues. That's the hope. But at the same time, now you're seeing where the stuff that you were saying, oh well, you didn't get your way, you could protest peacefully and not go through all that stuff. The shoe's on the other foot, and it's the same way. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You didn't get your way, and now look at what's happening. Well, we trying to make a point. Well, in trying to make a point, then something happens. You can't control everything that happens when a mass gathering like that. So, you can't control everybody. And what's going to happen is somebody may feel more of a way than you do. You may say, hey, we're just going down there to prove a point. Somebody may feel, hey, this is what needs to happen. But at the same time, keep that same energy across the board. And another thing I'm going to say is, man, they're going to have to say, you see, you had so many people in there without masks and all that stuff. I said, boy, this COVID, they're going to have to sanitize everything. It's like, you know what? Throw out all our chairs, bring you some whole new ones.
If I was a politician, I would be keeping my eyes on Zoom. Like, I see y'all on Zoom, right? No people face to face.
Because I'm like, I'm interested to see how those, these COVID cases go after this. And it's crazy to think that, but when you see these protests and mass gatherings, I'm like, man, there's so many people without masks. I'm like, you had your people with masks, but I'm like, yeah, these numbers about to spike again. And be like, because this is literally people from all over. You know?
Right.
And like right now, we have I think it was in front of Columbus State. There was a whole bunch of people that's out there protesting for Trump. I just know these numbers are gonna go crazy, man. And we was talking about being done with this in 2021. Not like this. Those numbers gonna keep going up.
Not like this. Hey, like, y'all better, man. I'm lost of words on this, man. This is crazy. It's funny that we like back in the day, man, growing up, and you see the little kids getting a fight and fighting, and we sitting back and just watching, like, look at these dudes, man. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what we doing right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just look at them, man.
Just waiting to see. We're sitting back, watching, and waiting to see how it plays out.
Yeah,
exactly. And that's the thing, man. How it plays out, and just sitting back watching it and just taking it in. For me, I was looking for those differences. I was looking to see, how is this going to be treated versus how. And my thing is, seeing this, and seeing how Black Lives Matters protest turns out explains exactly why we feel the way, or I can say me personally feel the way I feel when it comes to, Black Lives Matter and protecting us and just showing that we make a difference and we are, we got to be considered people because we're considered everything else. We consider everything, man. Thugs, super predators, any derogatory thing in the world, that's us. But when it comes to other people doing the same thing, then it's I love you, I support you, but do this, be kind.
Never heard the president say I love you, man.
Hey, that was a shock to me. I said, well, where was that? If we, do you know? I was like, the power of that empathy, just a little bit of empathy. Hey, I hear y'all going through something. I hear you, but we can't do it like this.
When you have a man that had a knee on his neck, died. You have a man that got another young man jogging in the neighborhood to get lynched by a mob. You have a woman that was sleeping in her bed to get shot through while she sleep, execution style. You have a man that was just starting his car in the garage, put his hand up on a non-verbal call, and you kill him. These moments like that, you should say, I understand, be sorry, we care for you, praying for you guys, we want to get this resolved. But no, you have people crying about a loss. You lost in the election, and you say you love them? Come on now, bro. I don't agree with that.
Exactly.
That's sad.
Crazy.
People losing their lives, man, for nothing.
So if you didn't understand, now you understand the stand back and be ready. You get it. It was clear as day. I'm going out screaming and kicking, and I want you to go out the same way. We're gonna make a bang as we go out of here.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. 2021. Look.
Hey, Kool-Aid, parlay cigars, man.
Hey, man. Hey, yo. But yeah, man. So that's it, man. That's what I wanted to talk to y'all about. I just wanted to, chop it up with my brothers. We thank y'all for tuning in to Parlay and Cigar Podcast. And
thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
It's smooth over here. So appreciate y'all, man.
It's all love, and what we gonna say?
Get hype!
Hey!